Hi there, Smart Drivers. Rick with Smart Drive Test talking to you tonight about 8 reasons that you will fail a driver's test. And as well, if you prevent making these errors, you'll also be a safer, smarter driver. Stick around. We'll be right back with that information. Hi there, Smart Drivers. Rick with Smart Drive Test. How are you? Let's see. Senorita Mona is here. Kyle's here. Evan, Delmy, and Ben is here. My friend Tim is here. And as well, Goose is here. Rock City Driving. He's throwing me here because he changed his username on us. And my friend Tim from Drive Smart BC. And if you are in the province of British Columbia, make sure that you check out Tim's website over at Drive Smart BC. Excellent information about traffic, anything that you want to know about law, court cases that have been ruled. As you know, there's two kinds of law. There's black letter law, which is legislation, and then there's case law, which is the interpretation of that legislation by the courts and judges. So have a look at that. Have a look at his forum. He has an excellent forum over there. And discussions around issues of traffic safety and anything to do with driving. So check out Tim at Drive Smart BC. And as well, Belinda's here. Ben, Trudes Brown, hello. And my friend Corey. Corey is the moderator. He keeps out the bad people and does an excellent job of getting up the videos. Now, it's already busy. So if I don't get to your question, leave us a comment down in the comment section. And, repeat your question, get me, just send me a reminder saying, hey, I didn't get my question because, as I said, it is busy. So the first question for tonight is, Vasan asked if he has his check engine light on. If you have your check engine light on, that will not prevent you from taking a driver's test. It's probably not going to be something that the examiner will say, hey, that's a safety issue and we can't drive. If you have a chip in your windshield, for example, that's going to prevent, good vision, then that's going to be something that they can say, hey, that's a safety issue, and they'll prevent you from driving for the purposes of your driver's test and deny you. A brake light out is a safety issue, so make sure that you do a pre-trip inspection, and Corey will put that video up for you as well. Tyler, hey Rick, I have my G2 tomorrow. Parallel parking is my weakness. I practiced multiple times today, still finding myself up on the curb and too sharp of an angle. Any advice would be great. Tyler, one of the things you got to do is have a look at the vehicle that you're parking behind. What is the position of that vehicle in front of you? Is it close to the curb? Is it far away from the curb? A couple of videos you can look at. You can look at the parallel park video and also look at the parallel parking video with Ariel that I did. She was having some trouble with that as well. But if you start taking note of that vehicle in front of you, whether it's a big vehicle, close to the curb, far away from the curb, that will definitely help you out in terms of your parallel parking. Okay? Tim, you're most welcome, my friend. Tyler, yeah, okay, so we got that question answered. Excellent. Mona, yesterday I failed. Everything was perfect except I hit the curb when I did parallel parking. Yes, and we're going to talk about that in terms of reasons that you're going to fail the driver's test. If you strike a fixed object on your driver's test, unfortunately, that's an automatic fail on a driver's test. If you touch the curb and readjust, most of the time that's going to be okay. The unfortunate part is that for new drivers, you're really not going to have the experience to know that your vehicle touched the curb, and often it's just going to be too late for you. So you bang the curb, you hit a cone during the parallel parking. If you do parallel parking with cones or you're doing the Ohio maneuverability test, you strike a cone, unfortunately that's going to be an automatic fail on your driver's test. Ben, animals. Yes, it is that time of the year in the fall when animals be coming out on the roadway, and if it is a squirrel, yes, I would recommend that you hit the squirrel and try not to swerve around it, because you could end up in a more dangerous crash than just running over the squirrel. I know it's sad running over the squirrel, but it's you or the squirrel kind of thing. Any tips on positioning those little stick-on convex mirrors? Yes, the stick-on convex mirrors want to be on the far outside and at the bottom of the mirrors where you want to place those convex mirrors on your vehicle is the best position for them. Okay, Trudes Brown, if your AC is not working, can you still take your driver's test? Trudes Brown, yes you can. AC is not a safety issue for the purposes of your driver's test. Mallory, how are you, my friend? Forgot to say hello to my friend Mallory, an oversight on my part. Okay. And Ben, no, you you've already taken your test. All right, Trevor, hello, my friend. All right, so let's get over to the presentation here, and we'll get through that, and then we'll come back and we'll answer all your questions about passing a driver's test. First thing I will say about a driver's test, there's 2 ways to fail, and Corey will put up both of these videos, which will give you more detail. The one is 10 reasons you will fail automatically on a driver's test, and the other one is 10 reasons that you will demerit out because you're assigned demerits for minor and, you know, more severe errors on your driver's test. Minor errors are, you know, wandering in your lane, for example. You're going to be assigned 5 or 10 points depending on the examiner, the discretion of the examiner. You make a turn too wide, or you turn your signal on too late, you're going to be assigned demerits. Most tests, you're allowed approximately 35 demerit points depending on where you are. So know that if you get more than 35 demerits, unfortunately, you're not going to pass your driver's test. So try and reduce the number of demerits that you're assigned on your driver's test. Goose, the road of life is paved with flat squirrels who couldn't make a decision, so be decisive. Absolutely. Just like the chicken that tried to cross the road. There we go. All right, presentation. So 8 reasons you'll fail your driver's test. You know, make a good impression. I always talk about first impressions when you show up for your driver's test. Give your vehicle a wash, clean out the footwells, make sure that all the fast food wrappers are gone. You know, maybe take it down to one of the car wash places and, you know, vacuum it out, give it a quick wash. You know, first impressions. You don't get a second chance to make a first impression, and I cannot emphasize that enough. All right, make sure you check out Pass Your Driver's Test First Time over at the Smart Drive Test website. It's a Smarter Driver course package. Guaranteed that you'll pass your driver's license first time. As well, we throw in the winter and defensive driving smart courses to make you a safer, smarter driver and reduce your chances of being involved in a crash. So Corey put up the link for the Smarter Driver course package. For those of you new to Smart Drive Test, my name is Rick August. I was a truck driver in the 1990s, hauling freight from Canada into the United States, mostly up and down the eastern seaboard. I did make it out west a couple of times to California, Nevada, and places like that. 1997, I earned my driving instructor's license in the province of Ontario, and most of my career has been teaching truck drivers. I have a specialty in air brakes. I also authored a book, Air Brakes Explained Simply, which is for sale over at my website if you're doing your air brakes and are having some challenges with that. I have a doctorate in legal history. I graduated from the University of Melbourne in Australia in 2006. Legal history is the study of policing, courts, and prisons. My expertise is in policing as it relates to traffic, oddly enough. While I was going to university in Australia, I drove buses for Greyhound, and as well I drove some of the regional buses, so I have bus experience as well as car experience. 2016, I started the YouTube channel and the online business, and all of this has been wildly more successful than I could have imagined. And if you want to know more information about that, you can check out my autobiography over at the Smart Drive Test website. New video this week. How do I know? I've had the question numerous times from smart drivers about how do I know when I'm making a right on a red light if the traffic on the other side has an advanced green. You don't know definitively. There is no definitive answer about how you know whether the traffic opposite you has an advanced green, but there are some clues. One of the clues is, do you have a left turning lane on your side? There might be one on the other side. Maybe, maybe not. Is there left turning traffic in the lane on the other side? Did you just arrive at a red light? Because this is time sensitive, because the advanced green on the other side of the intersection is only going to be for a short period of time. And then finally, if you're facing that red light, is there left turning traffic in the intersection? And that's all that left turning traffic is doing. So there are some clues to know whether you have a left turning lane. Now, Epic's not here right now. He did leave a comment saying that there are traffic signs in the state of New Jersey and on the eastern seaboard in the U.S. that say opposing traffic has an advanced green. I didn't know that. I've never seen those signs. So if any smart drivers watching now or watching on the replay know about these signs, I'd be interested to see one. I haven't Googled it, which is probably one of the things that I should have done right off, but I'll definitely have a look for those. Number 8, reason number 8 that you will fail your driver's test is poor mastery of the primary controls, which is kind of not really the way that I should have said that, but you don't have good control of the steering wheel, the brake, and the throttle. It's abrupt. You're not smooth on acceleration when you're taking off. You're not smooth in your braking. And aggressive or choppy control of the primary controls is simply telling the examiner that you've had very little driving time. One of the ways that you can improve your mastery of the primary control is to go to a parking lot and do slow speed maneuvers. And for any of you who've been around for a while, all know that slow speed maneuvers are to driving what scales are to music. They are what exercises or what drills are to any sport. These are the things that are going to improve your overall driving. And if you want to learn to drive faster, spend time doing slow speed maneuvers. And this especially goes for people in Europe and other places in the world where you're learning to drive manual transmissions. Get in the parking lot, work with the cones, get very comfortable with first and reverse, because if you can be comfortable with first and reverse, the other gears are fairly straightforward. But first and reverse in a manual transmission are going to be your toughest gears. And if you can learn to reverse well, you're going to improve your overall driving. Reason number 7, lane positioning. Okay, first thing is you have to move back to the right lane after turning left on a complex intersection, and the examiner will not tell you this. This is something that you need to do. And the reason for this is the sign that says slower traffic, stay right. You need to drive in the right lane when on a driver's test, because you're going to be doing the posted speed limit. Therefore, you're going to be driving slower than the traffic flow. So stay in the right lane, move back to the right lane. When you're turning on multi-lane roads, left lane to left lane, right lane to right lane, you have to know how to merge and change lanes safely and efficiently. You have to know how to observe correctly, and you have to know how to signal correctly. Okay, minimum 3 flashes on the signal before you move the vehicle sideways or turn. The reason for that, the first signal gets the attention of the other road user. The second signal allows them to locate you, and the third signal allows them to take some sort of evasive action, whether they're going to speed up to get past you or they're going to slow down to create a gap for you in which you can move your vehicle into. Emergency vehicles rather are the fly in the ointment of any driver's test. Make sure that you come to a complete stop immediately for an emergency vehicle, because if you don't, that is an automatic fail on a driver's test. And I've had students, unfortunately, that have come back and failed because they didn't stop for an emergency vehicle. You're being too cautious, you're going too slow, especially in residential areas, okay? So don't go too slow, don't be too cautious. Get the vehicle up to speed as quickly as possible. Speed limit on a driver's test is either the posted speed limit or the flow of traffic, whichever is less. So don't wait too long on gaps and those types of things. If you're missing gaps here and there and again, you're not going to be successful on your driver's test. Reason number 5, observation, shoulder checking. I cannot say this and watch Ariel's video on passing her driver's test and the advice that she gives to new drivers who are taking a driver's test. The first thing she says is shoulder checking. Shoulder check, shoulder check, shoulder check. And you know my saying about shoulder checking. Not shoulder checking is to driving what not checking to see if a weapon is loaded is to gun safety. Why on God's green earth would you move a 2-ton vehicle at speed sideways or change the direction of that vehicle without looking to see if there's another road user in your blind areas, okay? And those blind areas cannot be eliminated by blind spot detectors or convex mirrors or the adjustment of your mirrors, okay? One of the things that really irritates me is the SAE method of adjusting your mirrors. You cannot adjust your mirrors ever to eliminate all the blind spots. It's an impossibility. You have to shoulder check, all right? You have to have a forward scanning pattern in place. When you're reversing, you have to look out the rear window. You cannot use a backup camera or mirrors. You can look at them and glance at them, but your primary line of sight has to be out the back window, and you need to be checking your mirrors every 8 to 12 seconds when you're driving in a forward direction. Road signs. Any action contrary to a road sign is going to be an automatic fail on a driver's test, especially if it's a regulatory sign. Not so much if it's a cautionary sign or road markings or those types of things, but if it's an action contrary to a regulatory sign, for example, a speed sign, or you make a left-hand turn where there's a no left-hand turn sign, automatic fail on a driver's test. If you speed in a school speed zone sign when school is in session, Automatic fail on a driver's test. These are all the reasons. The other thing about traffic signs is know the classifications of road signs, and I'm going to do road signs here in 2 weeks. So know the classifications of road signs. Know that traffic signs convey information in 3 ways: the shape of the sign, the colors, the symbols, and message written thereon is the way that road signs convey information. Number 3, you strike a fixed object. We already talked about this in terms of striking the curb, striking a cone, backing into a concrete barrier that's often behind the parking slots where you have to park for taking your driver's test. If you strike these concrete barriers, that's an automatic fail on a driver's test. Better to stay out a little bit, lose a couple of demerits, than it is to back up and fail your driver's test because you struck a fixed object. Okay? Slow speed maneuvers, Ohio and California, if you strike the curb. So in California, instead of doing parallel parking, you have to back up along the curb. In Ohio, you have to do the Ohio maneuverability test. Parking, 3-point turns. You strike the curb on a 3-point turn, again, automatic fail on a driver's test. So practice your slow speed maneuvers, because even though 7/8 of the driver's test is in a forward motion, it's that 1/8 of slow speed maneuvers that gives drivers the most grief. Reason number 2, dangerous actions, blocking an intersection. So driving into an intersection that you can't clear, you're sitting in the intersection and the light turns red, automatic fail on a driver's test. Okay, backing up at an intersection. Never, ever, ever, ever back up at an intersection, okay? If you're across the pedestrian crosswalk and the light goes from, green to red and you weren't able to do anything, stay across the pedestrian crosswalk. Do not back up in traffic. Oh my God, I see drivers do it all the time and it just makes me cringe. Don't do it. Okay, if the examiner intervenes in the driving test, it's an automatic fail on a driver's test. Insufficient gap, turning. If other road users have to take evasive action, that's an automatic fail on a driver's test. If other drivers honk at you for whatever reason, it's probably you're not going to be successful. And the number one reason that drivers fail a road test is because they don't know what's on the driver's test. For example, they don't know that their test center has parallel parking with cones and they haven't practiced that. Or they're in the state of Ohio and have no clue what the Ohio maneuverability test is. Or they're in the state of Maryland and know they have to do a 2-point reverse turn. Or, the examiner asks you to do a 3-point turn and you don't know what that is or have never done one before. This is the other reason that you're not going to be successful on your driver's test. All right, so again, check out pass your driver's test first time, and I'm going to have to fix that because that says the wrong price. But if you send me an email and you want to enroll at $19.97, I will enroll you at $19.97. So let me know that if that's what you want to do. Good luck on your driver's test, and remember, pick the best answer, not necessarily the right answer. We'll get back over here. There we go. All right. Ben says he never backs up in traffic or makes a U-turn, and that is probably increasing your safety in traffic. That's awesome. Kyle, I had a friend fail due to going 32 in a school zone. That seems a little harsh, Kyle, that they went 32 in a 30. Yeah, that's a bit harsh, 32. It depends for how long they went 32, though. Did they go 32 and then 35 and then back to 32 or whatever happened? But, the other thing about it is examiners, it's not, here's what I was going to say. When you're speeding, it's not a matter is if you're going to, go 5 over. It's for how long you go 5 over, because your speed control is tied in directly to your observation. So you're looking far down the road, you're looking at your instrument panel, far down the road again, checking your wing mirrors, far down the road, check your center mirror, and start that all over again. And if you're not adjusting your speed every 5 to 12 seconds, then yes, you're going to fail your driver's test, because what it's telling the examiner, you're not adjusting your speed, therefore you don't have a good scanning pattern in place, and you're not checking your instrument panel to adjust your speed. So make sure that you have that scanning pattern in place so that you are adjusting your speed. Okay? Katie, I passed my test. Awesome. Congratulations, Katie. Where did you go to celebrate passing your driver's test there? Goose, where's Goose? What is the SAE method? SAE is Society of Automotive Engineers method. Just Google it. Go onto YouTube and type in the SAE method for adjusting mirrors, Goose, and you'll see what that is. It's actually a method that they have for on the highway. And basically, the way you set your mirrors up is you set your center mirror up and you can see the car coming, and then you look in your side mirror and you adjust it such a way that you can see it coming up the side and you don't have to turn your head. And I don't agree with it at all, because it gives people the false impression that they can eliminate blind areas around your vehicle by simply adjusting your mirrors. And it's completely false. Okay, so don't do that. All right, Tim says road lanes are regulatory. Okay, interesting. I'll have to look that up, Tim. But I do believe you. I do believe you. Ben, watch Canada's Worst Drivers, everyone on YouTube. It's very funny. Okay. Why are we fascinated with people driving badly? I don't know what that's about. It's interesting though. Amanda, I'm worried they'll make me do a 3-point turn on a skinny road and I'll hit the curb. Is there a way to do it on a skinny road? Amanda, there's lots of places that you can do it. Just go to a place that has very little traffic or a dead end street. Look on Google in and around where you are and just find a street where you could practice doing a 3-point turn. The other piece that you can do, Amanda, is do a practice driving test with a local driving school, and they will take you out and show you exactly where the driving instructors or the driving examiners, do the 3-point turns and do the slow speed maneuvers so that you can practice that for the purposes of preparing for your driver's test. Okay, June, all told you that you drove too slow. So, June, is that what's happening? Is that you're just going too slow in your driver's test, that you're not getting the vehicle up to speed and you're not doing the posted speed limit? Because yes, in fact, unfortunately, that will cause you to fail your driver's test. Morgan, they keep saying I'm driving on the wrong side of the road, but I'm not. The roads are narrow. I'm not following that. Mona, after I will pass my basic road test, you advise me to drive alone. First couple of weeks with good advanced one beside me. Thanks. Yes, always try and drive with a mentor after you get your license, especially if you're not comfortable or you have some questions or you just want a little reassurance. For example, yes, is that gap okay when I'm making a left-hand turn? Am I going too fast in the right turn or too fast in the left turn, or those types of things? You know, driving with somebody that you trust and somebody that has some experience in driving, that can really help you out in the first week or so when you're learning how to drive. Goose. Goose, yeah, I don't agree with it at all. So, Katie, how's the buggy? Planning to get the Audi or the X5? Katie, I just, the buggy has been very expensive of late. I spent a lot of money on it. I just spent money fixing the rear end on it because the bushings were gone in the trailing arms, which a week ago I was on the highway and all of a sudden it just started floating around on the back end because the bushings were completely gone. But I mean, it's got 200,000 miles on it, so it's realistic that the bushings are going to go out. So I actually had to take it to Honda to get the rear end fixed. But it's good now, and it goes up and down the highway as straight as it should. So the Honda's working well. Yes, the buggy is still going, but we have plans of that. And on that note of next week, I am in upstate New York at a YouTube conference on Sunday. I'm going to try and live stream next week. Cross my fingers that the internet in the hotel will be good enough that I'll be able to do that, as opposed to Backwater, Ontario, where I was in August and it didn't work at all. So I'm going to try. I'm not going to guarantee that I'm going to be able to live stream next Sunday. So if I don't get it working, I do apologize in advance. I've got it scheduled for next weekend on Sunday. I'm going to try and do it. As I said, I'm in upstate New York. I'm in Albany, New York at a conference, and I'll try to do it in the hotel, but we'll see how it goes. But cross my fingers, the internet in the hotel is good enough to be able to live stream. So that's what's happening next week, and I'll just post something on the community tab just reminding everybody. I'm leaving on Wednesday, so yeah, and I'm catching up with some people, and I'm gonna go see my friend Sam in New York. I'm very excited about that, in the Bronx, which is exciting. So that's what we're doing. Amanda, do you know if we have to signal to drive around parked vehicles that are taking up half of my lane in Ontario? Amanda, yes, you do. And Corey will put up the video about moving around and changing lanes. And it's exactly the same as a lane change, Amanda. So you got to think of, and not just Amanda, but everybody else taking a driver's test. If there's, say, for example, there's a garbage truck parked, okay, and they're picking up the rubbish while you're coming down the residential street. You have to move over into the other lane. So you have to mirror signal shoulder check. You have to check again, move over into the other lane, go around the garbage truck, and then you have to mirror signal shoulder check back. Okay, so that's the way that you do that for the purposes of your driver's test. Goose says, do not try, do. Excellent. Yeah, well, tech can be challenging at the best of times here at home. But when you're on the road, trying to get tech to work, it's a whole different thing. And there is my friend Sam. Hello, my friend Sam. Yes, I am coming to see you, my friend. I'm having coffee with my business coach in Dumbo in Brooklyn in the morning. Very early cup of coffee. And then I'm coming to see my friend Sam in the Bronx, and we're going to shoot some videos. So that's going to be really awesome, doing some videos there in the Bronx. I am very excited about that. FM, how to prepare for a Class 4 road test in Surrey, BC. Have Class 5 for 12 years. Okay, so FM, think of a Class 4 as a Class 5 driver's test with a pre-trip inspection. That's all you have to do, and it's very easy to do. And if you send me an email, remind me, and for like $10, I will give you the pre-trip inspection. It's everything that you need to say, everything that you need to check on the vehicle, and how to do it. It's very straightforward to follow and do the pre-trip inspection, and then it's just a matter of doing the driving test and exactly everything else here. Watch the mock driver's test. Corey will put up the link for you on the mock driver's test, and if you can do all of that, then you're going to pass your Class 4. So it's just an advanced Class 5 road test with a pre-trip inspection, and you get 20 minutes to do the pre-trip inspection. All right? And there, Corey's put up my email. Thank you for that. Kyle, I can't find an instructor to do a mock test in Fernie, BC. Kyle, is there another place somewhere nearby that you can do? You can go and find a driving instructor. Is that possible? Okay. Any parking tips? Daniel, what kind of parking are you doing? Okay. Chetan, I failed my road test because I was late on the turn, but there was a car coming from the side that was really fast. The driver behind me honked at me, and that's how I failed. Chetan, sorry to hear about your unsuccessful attempt. This is the other piece for you, for those of you taking a driver's test. Don't get rushed by other drivers. If you don't feel it's safe to go, don't go, because, that's how we get into trouble when we're driving. We buy into the social driving that is, that peer pressure of hurry up and go, and you don't want to succumb to that peer pressure, because that's going to get you into trouble, and unfortunately that's what's going to cause you to fail your driver's test. Sam, I would love for Corey to come, but Corey's in Winnipeg, and no, it's just going to be me and you doing the videos. We're going to have fun. We're going to have a lot of fun. Mallory, what is an advanced green? Thank you for asking that question again. I did see it earlier, but it got going down there. Advanced green is basically you come up to the traffic light. There's a flashing arrow that tells you can turn left on the advanced green, and the advanced green for the left turning traffic creates a space in the intersection where the left turning traffic can turn, and nothing else is happening at the intersection. It usually lasts 30 seconds to 2 minutes at the max. Okay. Shirley, for the purposes of a road test, is going 5 kilometers an hour lower than the speed limit too slow? Excuse me. Shirley, if you're doing it for the entire test, yes. If you're doing it for 5 to 10 seconds and then you readjust and get it back up to speed, then no. It's also going to depend where you are on the road. For example, if you're in a residential area and you can't be doing 50 kilometers an hour, 30 miles an hour, then yes, you can go a little bit slower. But if you're out on a main road, you need to get it up to speed as quickly as possible. Have a look at the video, the mock road test video that I did here on the channel, and you'll see that when I'm in the residential area, I very seldom get up to the posted speed limit in the residential areas of 30 miles an hour, okay? But when you get out on the main roads and those types of things, then you definitely need to be getting up to the main, up to that 50 kilometers an hour, 30 miles an hour in the residential areas. You can't be going too much slower. You got to be on that speed limit as best you can for the duration of your test. Mint, no, I'm in Canada, but everything here on the channel is directed towards the U.S. and helping you pass your driver's test there in the United States of America. Ben is still wearing your sweatshirt, Rick, and people love it. That's awesome. That's great news, Ben. Thank you so much, my friend. Gershom, watching your videos for almost 5 months now, but I get nervous in the exam. Any tips, please? Tomorrow is my test in the morning. Gershon, are you taking your on-road test or are you taking your knowledge test? Just let me know which one you're doing. Ben, no, I'm not gonna. I don't think I'm gonna see Margaret, but I'm sure she's lurking somewhere, and she's gonna come and get you. She's gonna find you. She's gonna come to Minnesota. She's gonna get you. You still making jabs about her, about her makeup. Epic, currently browsing one of the driving schools in Easton for the MVC. They offer actually first hour test review, and yeah, that's definitely helpful. Katie, keep the buggy, Rick. Katie, at this juncture, I can't afford not to keep the buggy. I've done a lot of work to it of late. So, blessed, aloha, hello, my friend. How are you? How's your car? Did you get some of the McGuire products to clean your car? And as well, Goose was saying Mother's is also a really good one, and it is a really good product as well. So, were you able to get some of that and get your car nice and clean and waxed and whatnot? Wiley, I passed my road test on Friday. I can tell my examiner was extremely strict with a mean, assertive yet aggressive tone, but he passed me because I did everything right. He only said to take my time, and that is awesome, Wiley. Congratulations on that. You did what you needed to do. You took away the driving examiner's right to fail you. Nothing more, nothing less. Congratulations on passing your test. That is really awesome. Goose, applying your tip for driving instructors to learn something new, learning hypnosis and how to invest in Bitcoin. That's awesome, Goose. And we'll have to get together. You'll have to tell me about investing in Bitcoin because I really don't know anything about it for sure. That's certainly something I would need to work at. Gershon, road test in the morning, class 7. Okay, so you're taking your driver's test. Okay, so any driver's test has 4 components to it. Observation, communication, space management, speed management. So space management, if you're not near anything, it's less likely you're going to hit something. All right, stopping at the correct stopping position at controlled intersections, before the stop line, before the sidewalk or crosswalk lines. If those 2 conditions don't exist, then at the edge of the road where the 2 roads meet. Know the difference between 2-way stops and 4-way stops. Stop at the correct stopping position for 2-way stops. Creep up, look for the gap, and then proceed when the way is safe. Okay. Stopping in traffic so you can see the tires of the vehicle making clear contact with the pavement. Don't enter an intersection you can't clear for space management. Speed management, traffic flow, or the speed limit, whichever is less. Observation, make sure that you are forward scanning pattern every 8 to 12 seconds. Far down the road, check your wing mirror. Far down the road, check your center mirror. Far down the road, both shoulders, check your instrument panel. Okay, shoulder checking anytime that you are turning, changing directions of the vehicle, or moving the vehicle sideways. Make sure that you mirror signal, shoulder check. So it's almost simultaneously. You're turning the signal on and you're shoulder checking and you're checking your mirror all at the same time. So make sure you do that. Lane changes, make sure you do that twice. So mirror signal, shoulder check. You got a gap, 3 flashes on the signal, click, 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 check again, and then move over. You're accelerating slightly as you're moving from one lane to the other. Leave your signal on until you're completely in the other lane. Turning left on a multi-lane road, when you turn left, make sure that you move back over to the right. The examiner's not going to tell you that. And then finally, communication. Make sure you communicate effectively with other traffic on the roadway. The way that we communicate with other traffic is, number 1, lights and signals. Number 2, your horn. Use your horn sparingly because in this day and age it's seen as a sign of aggression. And then eye contact. If you're not sure what a cyclist is doing or a pedestrian or whatnot, get eye contact. Let them know that you see them and are tracking their movements. And then hand gestures. Make sure you use all 5 fingers. Don't tell another driver or road user that he or she is number 1 on a driver's test. And then the most important way that traffic communicates is the position of the road user on the roadway. For example, if there's a pedestrian near a crosswalk, there's a good chance the pedestrian is going to cross the road. Or if a vehicle is in the left turning lane, for example, there's a good chance that that vehicle is going to turn left. So those are the 4 components of any driver's test: space management, speed management, observation, and communication. You have those 4 pieces in place, then you're going to pass your driver's test. And remember, your job on a driver's test is to take away the examiner's right to fail you. Nothing less, nothing more. You have to demonstrate to the examiner that you have due care and control of the vehicle in changing traffic conditions. So in parking lots, residential streets, multi-lane roads, and doing slow speed maneuvers. Your parallel parking, 3-point turn, and backing into a parking space. So know that for the purposes of a driver's test, 3 maneuvers that you need to be ready with. You need to be able to back into a parking space, 3-point turn, and parallel parking. There's only 3 states in the U.S. that don't parallel park. That's California, Maryland, and Ohio. Okay, California makes you back along a curb for approximately 50 feet. Depending on where you are in the state of Oregon, they do that as well. Ohio, it's the Ohio Maneuverability Test, which is a real challenge for new drivers. And then Maryland makes you do a 2-point reverse turn, which is essentially backing around a corner. That's basically the driving test in a nutshell. Okay. Okay. My driving test was good today. Okay, so Amanda, I think you're talking about backup cameras. Mallory, my 2 favorite sounds in the car are the turn signals and the windshield wipers. Yeah, I love driving in the rain and the windshield wipers. What's that song? Windshield wipers tapping to the music. You know, it's a somebody knows what the song is. There you go. I give you the line. Wiley, the key is check all blind spots, use turn signals, make complete stops at stop signs, even double stops, look to side, and that is all great advice of what Wiley wrote there, okay? Cool head as a new driver. Daniel, take a breath. Just let your foot off the throttle, let them go and have their crash somewhere else. I know it's tough. I know it's not easy because other people are honking and beeping and there's all that peer pressure within the arena of social driving that says hurry up and go. So yeah, okay. Maglia, I got my G2 test tomorrow morning. Excited and nervous. That's awesome. DC, is it legal to turn left from advanced green lane when light is still green but no advance? DC, it's going to depend on the intersection. And Corey will put up the video here on advanced greens because some left turning lanes have their own traffic light, and not a lot, but some. And if the left turning lane has its own traffic light and it goes to red, then you can't. But if it doesn't have its own traffic light and the light is green, then yes, you can turn left when the through traffic has the green light, as long as you have sufficient gap to turn left. And again, for turning left at intersections, front steer tires on the front crosswalk line, you're waiting, your gap starts to come, then you drive straight into the intersection to meet that gap. So the gap is coming here, you drive forward, you meet the gap, and then you turn left. The reason you do it that way is because you have a head of speed, you got a bit of speed going up before you turn left, and then you turn left and you reduce the amount of time that you're in the crosshairs of the oncoming traffic. That's the reason why you wait back and then drive straight into the city. There you go. See, Goose knows the song. I think Goose wins it. He gave me the rest of the lyrics. Excellent. Raptor, what happens if you get pulled over on the road test or something like missed stop sign? Raptor, I don't think I've ever heard a story of a student getting pulled over on a driver's test. Now, if somebody does know a story, if Tim knows a story or somebody else has a story about somebody that got pulled over on a driver's test, then please share that with me because that would be awesome. I would love to put that in my book. So Yeah, that's it. I don't know anybody who got pulled over on a driver's test. I have heard people who've crashed on a driver's test, but not being pulled over on a driver's test. Kappa, hey Rick, why should I be looking? Where should I be looking when parallel parking between two cones on a road test? You should be looking out the rear window, but you should also be checking your mirrors. Corey will put up the video for you on parallel parking with cones, and that will help you out to know kind of the landmarks, what you're looking for, and those types of things, and that will help you out. And there, Goose did it. Eddie Rabbit, Driving My Life Away. So if you don't know that, that's a good driving song, especially when you're driving in the rain on the highway, you know, in a fall day. It's just an awesome road song. So, you know, if anybody else has got an awesome road song that they want to hear or want to share with us, just put it in the comments there. That'd be great for those of you watching here now live or watching on the replay. Your favorite road song in the comments. Let's know. Kyle, will you fail if you forget parking brake on, or is it demerits? Kyle, it's simply demerits, okay, if you forget to put the parking brake on. It's only a couple of demerits. It's like uphill parking or downhill parking. If you turn your wheels the wrong way, it's only a couple of demerits, so don't freak out about it too much, okay? And as coming back to hill parking, it's the 3-in-1 rule. Everything is towards the shoulder of the road except uphill with a curb, which is up and away like Superman. Then you just put the wheels out, and then you let the vehicle roll back a bit, and the back of the tires rest on the curb. Okay, EC, can you look at the cam when backing up? EC, you can look at the camera, but you can't use it as your main line of sight. So you're looking out the back window, you're looking out, you pause, you look at the backup camera, you check your mirrors, 360-degree scan, back out the window, and then back up again, okay? So you can use the backup camera, you just can't use it as your primary line of sight. And even for those of you in the state of New Jersey, which is the only state that I know of that has legislated that you can use a backup camera in your driver's test, it's exactly the same. And Corey will stick up the video on using a backup camera for the purposes of your driver's test. You can use it, but you just glance at it as you do your mirrors. It's not something you can use as your primary line of sight. Sam, I remember taking someone to a road test and she crashed. I actually made a video on it. I bet you she felt terrible. Yeah, but like I said, I haven't, unless it's some sort of, road check. Like I said, I don't have any stories. I haven't heard any stories of students on a road test, on a driver's test, being pulled over. I was pulled over with a busload of passengers into a, what do they call it? A drink driving check, where they set up for alcohol on the side of the road. It was actually kind of funny because the one officer waved me in to be checked, and, I'm in the bus, and I don't know whether they were distracted or what happened, but I get up to where the officer is with the breathalyzer. He kind of looks up at the window at me, and he's like, "What are you doing in here?" And of course I ran over like 12 cones getting into the thing. So, he's just like, just go, just get away, just go away. Yeah, it's pretty funny. So there we go. Tim says that his road song is Radar Love. And I have to agree. That is an awesome song. Radar Love. If you haven't heard it, definitely look it up on YouTube and have a listen. That's a great song. That's a great road song. Sam, yes, I remember taking... Okay, so we talked about that. Daniel, have you ever driven on the German Autobahn? I haven't, Daniel, but I drive Tracy, my girlfriend's Audi. It's an S4. I feel like I'm on the Autobahn in the Audi. That's a definite Autobahn car. The Audi S4, oh my God. You get in that thing and you're going down the road at 120 kilometers an hour and the car's like, It's not like the Buggy at all. I get in the Buggy and I do 120 in the Buggy, and the Buggy's like, it's like a full driving experience where you get in the Audi, you're doing 120, you're like, and the car's like, So no, I haven't driven on the Autobahn, but I feel like I drive on the Autobahn when I'm in the Audi S4. Okay, Sam, she was terrified It caught the examiner off guard. It happened so fast, as most crashes do, unfortunately. Cal, I passed my test in April. Driving is really life-changing. Praying you all pass your test. Thank you again for your tips, Rick. Cal, you're most welcome. So happy to hear you passed your driver's test and that we could help out. That is absolutely awesome. Wiley, downhill, e-brake, and turn your wheel all the way to the right. Uphill, e-brake, and turn wheel all the way to the left. No, you want to have the wheels touch the curb because that's your secondary backup, and then apply the parking brake after you have the wheel touch the curb. If there's a curb. If there isn't a curb, then yes, do what you did. But if there is a curb, then you want to have the wheel touch the curb so it's holding the vehicle. Anthony, taking my road retest on the 15th. Your videos have been a major help. Anthony, that is absolutely awesome. So happy we could help out. Wiley, are you an ex-examiner or are you currently a driving instructor? Wiley, I'm a driving instructor, but driving instructors, our job as driving instructors is to know what driving examiners do. And our job as driving instructors is to teach you to pass a driving test with any driving examiner, regardless of who that is, because I have had experiences in a driving school with a student, and they move the students around between instructors, and of course the student comes back to me and he's like, oh, well, Rob didn't tell me to do that, and Rob was a driving examiner as well. And I said, yeah. I said, maybe Rob told you to do that, that's fine. But I said, maybe you're not going to get Rob when you go and take your test. I said, there are 4 driving examiners in the test center, and you could get any one of those 4 examiners. I said, I'm teaching you to pass a driver's test with any examiner, not just Rob, who's also working at a driving school, which I thought was a little weird, but that's what it was. So driving instructors will teach you to pass your driving test at any DMV with any driving examiner. That's what we're doing. And trust me, we as driving instructors, the fundamental of our job is to know what driving examiners are looking for, as well to make you a safer, smarter driver and get some defensive driving into you as well. So that's our other goal in terms of teaching you how to drive and pass a driver's test. Corey, taking my test in a few days, getting a lot of help from family. Your videos have been helpful so far. That's awesome, Corey. Thank you so much for dropping back and letting us know. Epic, my friend. Slow speed maneuvers videos you made are very helpful because those are the hardest parts of the road test. Do you recommend a 2-hour driving school session before the road tests? First half review, second test. Yes, Epic, I absolutely recommend that. The return on investment of getting in a car with a driving instructor, somebody that you really don't know that well, and getting them to take you out and do a mock road test is really, really valuable because they're going to take you on the test route. They're going to show you where the examiners at your DMV do the slow speed maneuvers, and they're going to give you feedback on the skills and abilities that you may need to strengthen in order for you to be successful in your driver's test first time. So yes, I really recommend that. Kyle, up no curb, many people from Minnesota. Can we get okay, not sure. Oh, okay, I'm reading 2 comments at the same time. Kyle, up no curb, so uphill without a curb, yes, towards the shoulder. So it's 3 and 1. So just, 3 and 1, you got you got a 75% chance of getting it right just towards the shoulder of the road. The only one is uphill without a curb. It's up and away like Superman, so it's out towards the center. Dina, exactly. I've seen many test road videos and examiners. Some are definitely more strict than others. Yeah, there's a whole spectrum of driving examiners out there. Some of them are really good. Sometimes, once in a while you get the ogre, but, most of them are really good. They're doing a really good job of what they're doing in those types of things. And, one of the other things that I want to comment and I kind of want to plead, I'm probably not talking to the people who are here and working hard to pass their driver's test and whatnot. But in the state of New York, for example, they no longer give feedback or tell you whether you passed or failed your driver's test right there at the test center when you finish your driver's test. You have to go home, and then later that day you log into the DMV website to find out whether you passed or failed your driver's test. And we're getting very close to that here in Canada and in other states in the U.S. as well. And the reason for that is because of abuse on the part of people who are being tested. I am encouraging you, for those of you watching now or those of you watching on the replay, yes, it sucks that you failed, but there's no learning in winning. Okay, we don't learn anything when we pass our driver's test. We did what we needed to do when we passed the test, but we didn't learn anything. Not as much as we're going to learn as when we're not successful at something. We're definitely going to take stock of what we did right or wrong, and we're going to evaluate. And if we really want that, if we really want our driver's license, for example, we're going to go back. We're going to evaluate. We're going to strengthen our skills, and we're going to go back and we're going to learn something, and we're going to be better the second time. At least that's the hope. But driving examiners are doing their job. They're doing a very good job. And, they make mistakes like other people. Very seldom do they make mistakes in terms of whether people can pass or fail a driver's test. Because I can tell you, Goose will tell you, Sam will tell you, my friend Tim will tell you, we can get into a vehicle with somebody and within 3 minutes, we can tell whether that person can drive that car. We don't even need to take them in parallel park with them. We can tell from the comfort level of the person, the energy of the person, the handling of the primary controls, whether that person can drive a car. So let me tell you, 9 times out of 10, when a driving examiner says that a student failed a driver's test, I'm going to believe the driving examiner. I'm sorry about that, and I know that hurts your feeling as a new driver, but you need to kind of take on board that you've only been driving for 6 to 8 weeks. That driving examiner sits in a car and probably does 10 to 15, maybe even 20 driving tests a day and sees a whole spectrum of drivers and how they drive a vehicle in a particular area. So I know that it sucks. I know that it sucks that you didn't pass your driver's test. But don't abuse the driving examiner for doing his or her job. Okay? I'm asking you that as a favor to the profession, to the driving examiners, because it just makes it tougher for everybody else when all of a sudden now you're not getting feedback on your road test because driving examiners have to be protected from abuse from the public, and that's kind of unfortunate, and I see that as just the dark side of the industry in which we work. So I'll leave it there. All done. That is correct. Thank you so much. Gift, taking my fourth road test. I got nervous during the test. Please advise. Breathe. That will cause your body to relax. Make sure that you breathe. Okay, Amanda, the way I remember the 3-in-1 rule is just remembering uphill curb, wheels to the road. Every other parking is towards the curb. Excellent. Sam, some of my students are surprised when I tell them about not finding out if they passed or failed at the end of the driver's test. And it's not surprising, Ben, or it's not surprising, Sam, rather. Sorry about that. Unfortunately, though a few have wrecked it for the rest of us. It's the same thing as that goof who brought the explosives onto the planes, and now every one of us can't have more than 100 milliliters of liquids going through security. They wrecked it for the rest of us, unfortunately. Sam, I can tell right away if someone can't drive. The Spidey Sensation. No, just kidding. No, it is the Spidey Sensation, Sam. It's the same thing. I can get in a car with somebody and I can tell very quickly within 30 or 40 seconds, less than a minute, whether somebody can drive or not. It was the same thing as when we were doing driver rehabilitation at the hospital. You would get people in the car and it would take them literally 5 or 10 minutes to set up the vehicle to be able to drive it. If it takes you 5 or 10 minutes to set up a vehicle in order to be able to drive or operate that motor vehicle, I'm sorry, you probably can't drive. There's a very high probability that you can't drive. And most of those people who were like that, not most of them, but the few that were like that, we had a parking lot out the back of the hospital. We took them for a drive around the parking lot, and most of the time we just came back and they parked because they couldn't drive. Okay? Tim, my friend, we'll see you next week. The abused instructors too. Sometimes these instructors tell them they're not ready. And Morgan, I'm not saying that it doesn't go the other way as well, that some instructors are grisly. And yes, that's unfortunate. And, I agree. I'm not saying that it's all one-sided. It's never one-sided. It's never a simple issue when it comes to these types of things. But I'm just kind of asking and pleading that we all try and get along. And yes, it really sucks. I know it does, because, you know, there's been some things in my life that I've not been successful at, and, you know, I would like to blame other people, but I don't. I try not to, okay? Goose, a hockey pro could tell if I can skate or not in less than 30 seconds. Isn't that the truth? Yeah, they can tell me I can't skate. Siddharth, just be nice to the examiner. Always doesn't matter if you pass or fail. Well, yes, be nice, but it, you know, it does matter. It definitely hurts our pride when we find out we're not successful. Evan, if you're going to turn left using the left turn lane, that is further away from the center of the... Evan, I'm not sure what you're asking me there. Wiley, practice, especially on what you need to improve on. Yes, exactly. Thank you so much for that. Kev, how do you indicate pulling into the curb? I either park too far or too close. Kev, one of the things that's going to help you out with that is to pull in behind another vehicle and see how far that vehicle, before you pull in, just see whether that vehicle is far or close to the curb, and take note of that, and then, you know, adjust your vehicle kind of in behind that other vehicle. So if it's far out, then you want to be a little bit closer to the curb. If it's close to the curb, then maybe you want to be out a little bit farther, okay? And again, it just practice. Make sure that when you pull into the curb, mirror signal, shoulder check before you pull over into the curb. Mallory, thanks for your videos. Have learned a lot and shared some of the things that I've learned on my YouTube channel. Awesome. Thank you so much, Mallory, for your support. Awesome. White noise happened to me during the G test. Examiner did not even made me park. We just started chatting 3 minutes into the test. And exactly, white noise, because they knew that you could drive. You demonstrated right off the bat that you could drive. And it comes back to the first 5 minutes, right? And I'll just tell you a quick story here. When I was driving buses, I was really tired. It was a Greyhound run from Sydney, Australia, or from Melbourne, Australia to Sydney. And it was the overnight, 11 and a half hours, and I was tired already. And I go in, and where you boarded the passengers and loaded the freight was inside a building. So I go in, park the bus, get all the passengers on, get all the freight on, and get on the bus, and I'm doing my little announcement, and I back up, and I stalled the bus when I backed up because it was a manual transmission. I stalled it. I get it going again, and I pull out, and you pull out of the building, and the sidewalk's right there. And this pedestrian steps right in front of me, slam on the brakes. All 50 passengers like, oh, what's he doing? Oh my God, this guy's going to kill us. And so now I'm completely rattled because within 30 seconds I stalled the bus, and then I, slammed on the brakes. I drive out to make the left, or to make the right-hand turn, which is a left, right? And make the left-hand turn, and I pull the back wheels up over the curb. And I will tell you, because I made 3 mistakes in less than 2 minutes right at the beginning of the bus trip, not one person on that bus slept the 11 and a half hours from Melbourne to Sydney. And on the other hand, most of my bus runs went swimmingly well. And the first 5 minutes, if you get the first 5 minutes of a bus trip right, everything goes right. You're funny. You do the little announcement. You pull out. You get going down the road. You get the bus going. Everything goes well. Man, you could put that bus up on 2 wheels halfway through the trip and nobody would bat an eye. But you screw up the first 5 minutes and wow, nobody trusts you for the rest of the trip. It's the same thing as a driving test. You get that first 5 minutes right of the driving test and you're fine. You're golden. And it's exactly what was said here. The fact that, the first 3 minutes and then the examiner just started chatting to the student indicates that, they've been able to drive well. So there you go. Okay. Kappa, when reversing on a road test, is it acceptable to put one hand on the wheel and the other on the back? Yes, Kappa, it is totally acceptable to do that. Corey will put up the video for you on reversing. And that is the one time that you, in fact, can use one hand to reverse is when you're looking out the back window and you're reversing, okay? Wiley, can you tell me the story about the fastest person who failed a driver's test? I don't have any fastest person who failed a driver's test. I have had one person, it wasn't my student, but it was another student who crashed, and but that was at the end of the driver's test. I had one person who was backing up with the tractor trailer, and I intervened, and the examiner got the student to just like pop the brakes on, and all of a sudden the examiner just come out of the truck, which was directly across from the office, and just went in the office. Didn't even stop to talk to me. I was like, what the heck just happened? So, you know, and the student failed because I intervened in the road test because the student was going to back into the concrete wall that he was backing in next to. All right, so Corey's put up the video on how to reverse there. Ben says he trusts his own driving now, which is great. Okay. And maybe anybody else watching on the replay, watching live, can tell me if they have a student who failed really quickly. Let me know. Okay. Are you... My kids are standing right here bugging me. Okay.
I can dance.
Okay. And King says he watched my videos all week and passed on Friday. That's awesome. Okay. Quit being a...
I love being a dork.
Okay. We're all done. Are you going to say hi?
I know how to dance.
No, right there.
Hi. Ah!
Okay. Go.
What? I can dance.
Yeah, you can't dance. All right.
Yes, I can.
If you passed the driver's test in the last couple of weeks...
Pass your dance lessons.
You passed your driver's test in the last couple of weeks. Congratulations on that. If you have a test coming up this week, good luck on that. And remember, pick the best answer, not necessarily the right answer. Have a great night. Bye now.
Yuck burn. Oopsies. Oopsies. Oopsies.